A new WRC event will be closing out the 2025 season, a decider in the desert, a three-way title fight. Let's talk about Rally Saudi Arabia. And we'll start off with the title picture. I usually talk about this a bit later on in my previews, but here I'm going to talk about it earlier on. The decider in the desert features one of the cast from the decider down under of 2018. Sébastien Ogier is in second place, 3 points behind his teammate Elfyn Evans, and 21 points clear of his other teammate, Carlo Rovanperä. Ogier has been in this position before. His 2020 title came at the Itinerary Monza, where Elfyn Evans went off the road, and Ogier went through for world title number 7. Elfyn Evans, therefore, has also been in a situation before, that Itinerary Monza. He has also been the one chasing down Ogier in Monza in 2021. Carlo Rovanperä, this is his first title decider finale. His 2 titles came earlier. And this is where we're at. For Ogier, he has been in a 3-way title battle before, that 2018 one, where he was leading in his Ford from Tanak in Toyota and Nerville and Hyundai. The other 2 went off the road. Ogier brought it home, and the rest was history. And so, when it comes to the title picture, Ogier needs to outscore Evans by 3 points. So for Evans, he needs to win. Because there's an 8-point difference between first and second in WRC. It's 17 points for second. So that would mean even if Ogier swept the Super Saturday, because it's not a Super Sunday this time around, it's a Super Saturday, he can't catch Evans. For Ogier, he just needs to do what he does best. Show up and dominate. And he likes winning new rallies as well. As does Carlo Rovanperä to a similar extent. And he did as much as a clean sweep as you can really get in the WRC with Islas Canarias earlier this year. Granted, that was tarmac. This is not tarmac. But will he be trying to bow out of the WRC? He retires after this event in the best form possible. It's a longer shot for Rovanperä. With a 24-point deficit to Elfyn Evans, he needs to win, sweep everything, and hope that Evans and Ogier are not in the top 10. So hope that they have some kind of a retirement that forces them to Super Rally. It's possible. It has happened before. But that's what he needs. As for the entry list, we have 41 entries from Rally 1 through to Rally 4. 2 Rally 4s, a handful of Rally 3s, a couple of dozen Rally 2s, and then a dozen Rally 1 cars. In Rally 1, the order will be opened by Elfyn Evans. Seb Ogier will be next, and then Carlo Rovanperä third on the road because it's championship order. Then we have Ott Tanak, who will be retiring from full-time competition, or at least stepping away for now, at the end of this event. Thierry Neuville, who will be hoping that he won't be the first world champion since Richard Burns to have failed to win in the season after his championship, and become only the third in WRC history who's had a winless season post-championship that's done a full-time campaign. Then we have Taka Katsuta, Adrian Fourmeau, Sami Pyeri, and then we get to the Fords, Gregoire Munster, Josh McAlean, a returning Martin Sesks for his 7th round of the season, and a Rally 1 debutant, but one of the winningest drivers in the history of rallying in the Middle East, W2RC champion, Nasser Al-Attiyah. He won the candidate event as part of the MERC earlier this year, so he'll know some of these stages pretty well. Let's see how he gets on. The 21 Rally 2s feature 3 drivers who aren't entered for WRC2. The leading one is WRC2 champion Oliver Solberg, who will be stepping up to the Toyota Rally 1 program full-time next year. Rupert Korhonen is next. He's the lead WRC2 entrant, and actually, through towards the end of this, they're all WRC2. Such as Robert Vivej, Gus Greensmith, who's the only one not entered for WRC2 Challenger, Nikolai Gryajan, Jan Solens, Kaitan Katanovic, Alejandro Cachon, Pablo Sarrazin, Daniel Feist, Fabio Schwartz, Diego Dominguez Jr., Alejandro Mauro, Abdulaziz Al-Kharari, who has taken honours before in the MERC as well, Hamza Bakashab, one of 2 Saudi drivers, Miguel Granados, Nasser Khalifa Al Attiyah, in the sole Fiesta Rally 2 entered for this event, Miguel Diaz Boites, and then the 3 non-championship ones, Adrian Mosca for Sarrazin Motorsport Iron Links, Gaurav Gill in a Fabia Rally 2 Evo, the many times APRC champion, and Ihab Al-Sharafa, also in a Fabia Rally 2 Evo. We have 6 Rally 3 cars entered, 5 of them for WRC3, Matteo Fontana, George Vasilakis, Berku Sontikaya, Saeed Al-Mouri, the other Saudi entrant, with himself and Santikaya behind the wheel of the Clios, the rest of these drivers driving Ford Fiestas. And then you have Naveen Puliglia, who is behind the wheel of a Fiesta and then for WRC3, and Philippos Bataille, who is not entered for WRC3. The entry list is rounded out by 2 Rally 4 cars for Rashid Al-Muhannadi and Mohammed Al-Mari. Both are entered by the Qatari Motorsport Authority. And interestingly, Al-Muhannadi's co-driver is Shimon Gosparczyk, the recently crowned European Rally Champion in co-drivers, alongside Miko Marchek. As for the stages, we have 320 kilometers of competitive action. Some of these routes, in some way, shape or form, featured in the MERC, but some of them are new for this event as well. The action takes place from Wednesday through to Saturday. If you're wondering about stage times to local times, for myself in the UK, I take 3 hours off. So the power stage is going to be about 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Starting off with Wednesday's action, and that sounds weird to say. Tharban will make up the shakedown test. Part of it will be reused as the power stage, but part of it that's being reused in the power stage will be inverted in terms of direction as well. So that could potentially spring up some surprises. We then also have Stage 1, the Jamil Motorsport Super Special. It's pretty much halfway between the airport and the F1 track. You can see the F1 track from it. It's a car park that's been converted into a super special stage. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think there was part of the preview on Dirtfish said Takakatsuta won't be happy with all of the plastic barriers that will be lining the stage. Thursday's action will open on both loops with Alfa Salaya. The test is 90.36 kilometers long. The first run is 8 o'clock local, second run at just after 2 p.m. local. There is some elevation change, but the main thing is that after around 9 kilometers of stage, it starts to get pretty twisty through the second half. That's around where you have the climb up. The second stage in both loops, run at 9:06 local and 3:20 local, is the moon stage. This is much like with the previous test, one that's going to be new for this edition. It's relatively flat, but very rocky and very twisty. We could expect to see some low speeds and expect to see the Hancocks being pushed to their very limit here. Whilst each loop will be rounded down by the Calais test at 10:04 and 4:18 local time. And yeah, it features quite a bit of elevation change actually. It starts at around 200 meters above sea level, drops down below the 200, and then peaks around 320 meters. It's right near a riverbed, and you can imagine that this 11.33 kilometer test will be similar to some of the stuff that we may have seen in Argentina in years gone by. The day rounded out by the second run of the Jamil Supersport Super Special at 8:31 local. Friday's action will open with the Al Ghula test, 11.69 kilometers. It was also run in the MERC earlier this year. You have a little bit of an incline, then a little bit of a drop around 3 kilometers in, and then it runs around some main roads and over some junctions before a bit more of a climb up to a slow-moving bit at the end of the stage. So, by the looks of things, you've got a lot of 90 lefts and 90 rights and a faster middle section to it, with a twistier start to the stage. Jarem is the next one, 9:19 local and 14:47 local for the two runnings. It's a 30-kilometer test. It was run in the MERC using the second half of the test earlier this year, but in reverse. So for some drivers, the roads will be familiar, but it will still be new pace notes. It starts off with a steep decline into a valley, and then it slowly climbs up, and then you've got a sharp climb onto the stuff that was in the MERC earlier this year, before around 20 kilometers, a very steep drop on the run down towards the end of the stage. The other stage in Saturday's loops is the Wadi Al Matwi test. 28.59 kilometers. There are some really steep rises here in the later phase of the stages. There's a rise at around 17k that's quite steep, goes up around 100 or so meters, and then it drops back down, then it goes back up again at around 22k, then back down, and then back up again around 25 for a drop towards the end. These are all the twistier parts of the stage as well. So there are some fast bits where there's very little in the way of elevation change, and then there's some where there is a lot. Funnily enough, in the MERC, these were two different tests. The rally opening Buraiman test, and then the Wadi Al Matwi test. Both of them, because they flowed straight into each other, were run in reverse as part of the MERC. So again, new pace notes. There are two stages for the Super Saturday. I'm going to go with the second one first, one in the middle of the loop. It runs at 10:21 local time on the Saturday. It's the Asvan test. This was also run in the MERC, however there's 10 kilometers that is new for this event, and well, it could even be argued that there's slightly more. A flat out section that instead was up and down some hills in the MERC edition. There are some bits that are flat out, some bits that are slower, some bits that are twistier, some bits that have inclines in it. It's a little bit of everything. And then, like I mentioned earlier on, the Tharban test will round out the runnings. 16.29 kilometers. The MERC version was 8.46 and run in the other direction, and was the second half of this power stage. Lots of stopping and starting. At a couple of points there are some dips and rises, but it's not particularly pronounced because the overall elevation change for this stage is 73 meters. Be a nice way to round out the rally and round out the season. So as for ones to watch, Nasser Al Attiyah, I would not be surprised if he's the top Ford guy. He has been competitive for decades in rallying. Granted, it's usually more at the regional level in Rally 2s, or it's in Rally Raid now, but he has experience around here that none of the other drivers do. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe picks up a stage win or two as well. He beat Juho Hänninen by 90 seconds earlier this year, and that was with Hänninen having the full Toyota Gazoo Racing entry for it as well. As for the actual Rally 2 class, whilst you could say maybe somebody like Abdulaziz Al-Khawari would be competitive, Oliver Solberg's going to want to go out on a high. He's going to be going all out, especially because it could serve as a very high-speed kind of test or high-speed recce for the 2026 season finale. As for the title battle, I wouldn't be surprised if Rovanperä takes the win, but Ogier takes the championship. I don't want to bet against Elfyn Evans. Elfyn Evans has been relentlessly consistent, and that's one of the reasons why he gets into the title battles as he does. It's just through sheer consistency. Ogier has confirmed another part-time season next season. It remains to be seen whether or not he will keep to the promise this time around. But I reckon that Evans, he knows where he's at. And he knows in Monza he only ever made one mistake. So I reckon he's going to take it a little bit easier, take a few less risks, and hope that his teammates end up getting caught out. Toyota have already wrapped up doing the double. They wrapped up the constructors back at the CER. So this will just be all out, so you can do best. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Neuville win, for example, or a Tanak win. Or heck, maybe even a Katsuta or a Formo. Either way, folks, those are my thoughts and feelings. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching and joining, and till next time, bye for now.